Welcome to Wise Man's Dollar, a show for everyday working people who want to keep more of what they earn, make wiser decisions with their money, and build a legacy for the next generation. I'm Soon Jada, and I'm so happy that you've chosen to tune in and check this show out. So, in the last episode, I shared the story of my granddaddy and the two lessons that he repeated throughout his life to his children and his grandchildren. The first one was any man can make a dollar, but it takes a wise man to spend it. You gotta, extend that wise because that's how he did it. And then the second one was there's two ways to make money. You work for it and have it work for you. So in that episode, I mentioned a financial tool that fits perfectly with those ideas. And today I want to break down exactly what it is. That tool is a properly structured dividend paying whole life insurance policy. And I like to call it the all that asset. So I like playing on words. And the reason why, well, first of all, how many of y'all listening to this remember all that as a slang term in the 90s? When I was in middle school and high school, probably closer to middle school, people used to say, yo, that's all that or all that when, something was cool, whether it was like, a new pair of shoes or somebody got some good news or they just watched a really good basketball game and someone did something crazy. And people used to say, even go a little bit further and say, like, yo, it was all that in a bag of chips. How many of y'all remember that? So and basically got, condensed down to just something being all that, you know. Um, so the reason why I decided to call this particular financial tool and strategy, well, the tool that's used for the strategy that we'll talk about later, but the tool, I call it the all that asset because once I got to learn more and more about it and started to realize it had all these benefits, it was like, man, it can do all that. So anyway, in my little corny, ways of being, I decided to call it the all that asset. And before I explain a little bit more about what it is, let me just touch on what it isn't. All right. The all that asset is not an investment. It's not stocks, it's not crypto, and it's not something that you risk money in. It's not designed to like chase high returns. It's designed to store, to protect, and to give you control over your money. The all that asset is a properly structured, dividend paying whole life insurance policy. I want to emphasize something that I said properly, properly structured. That's so important. All right. It's not just your regular conventional whole life insurance policy that can do all the things that you're going to learn about in this show. So, this properly structured dividend paying whole life insurance policy builds cash value over time and it allows you to access that money while it continues to grow. Therefore, essentially allowing you to become your own bank. All right. So let's talk about why this matters. It matters because most people are in this constant cycle of earning money, spending it, saving a little bit, and then repeating that all over again. And for far too many people, it often feels like you're starting over every year. Well, what if there was a way that you could keep more of what you earn, store it in a place that grows uninterrupted and without risk, and still have access to it when you need it? Well, that's what you can do with the all that asset. And that's what made it so interesting to me. So, at a very high level, some of the things that stood out to me about this asset and some of the benefits that it has in one place are that it offers guarantees, it offers steady growth, it offers zero risk of losing money like the stock market, it offers you access and liquidity to your money, access to your money and liquidity, tax advantages, privacy, and flexibility. And in future episodes, I'm going to break those down one by one. So before we get to that, though, in the next episode, and again, I'm designing this to be little bite sized miniature episodes that don't take much time for you to listen to or watch. So we're getting towards the end of this one. And in the next episode, I'm going to break down the one of the biggest misconceptions people have about this asset. And that is why it's not an investment and why that actually makes it more powerful. So, thanks for tuning in once again to Wise Man's Dollar. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit the like button, please subscribe, and please drop a comment or ask a question below in the chat. And remember to please share this with someone you know and care about because wisdom grows when we pass it down. And remember, like my granddaddy always said, any man can make a dollar, but it takes a wise man to spend it. I'll see you in the next episode.